a very special guest with me, my husband Paul.
Hi everybody.
He's agreed to make a video with me, and hopefully this won't be the only one. I have an idea for one more, so I'll see if I can get him to do that as well. But we wanted to make this video to talk about how we talk to our 2.5-year-old about what's going on with my health and like why we did it and then how it's going. And so Paul was like a big part of that, obviously. And so I wanted to get like his take on some of this and kind of just have a conversation of like I said, like why we did this and how we did it and how it's going. So I like, first of all, disclaimer, we always say this when we like talk to people about our parenting style, but we don't know what we're doing.
Oh yeah, we have no idea, and we don't pretend. Like, we learn all the time. It's new every day. So we don't, whenever we talk about parenting, me and Tiff, it's not like we're trying to figure out what's the one right way to do something. We're just trying to figure out what's best for our family and our approach for our kids.
Yeah, and we'll probably, and we probably will make mistakes, but you know, yes. So, but with Charlotte, we have noticed, even since she was very little, that like communicating and like explaining things to her and being honest and talking really like helps her like cope and helps her like transitions. And it's kind of a funny story, but I remember when Charlotte was like 9 months old or something, we were driving home from church and it was like late, and she had been like really crying a lot in the car, not doing well in the car, and she never really did good in the car. But Paul started like talking to her, and usually I'd like turn around, put the pacifier on her or pass her snacks or something like that, but Paul just started to like talk to her, and he's like, all right, Charlotte, we're driving home and it's not a long drive, and I know that you're tired and it's been a long day. And he like just had this like really long like explaining thing to her, and I like was like in my head like, that's not gonna work, she doesn't understand you, you know. But she quieted down. And then like every single time that you did that, like Paul would just start talking to her, and she would like explain to her why she shouldn't be crying and what she should be doing. Even at that young of age, she would like calm down and like kind of listen, and it like amazed me.
So I don't have any like baby experience or child raising experience besides like my own kids, and I just could tell, even when she was like that little tiny baby, when she was like looking at me, there were certain things I would say and it felt like she would get it. And so anyway, I was happy it worked. The car rides were brutal. So, but
I don't know, that's just kind of been like what you do a lot, is like explain things to her. And you know, I think a lot of people know this, but like kids know more, they understand a lot more than we ever like give them credit for. And so when Charlotte, you know, with the first time with my health, so like last summer, Charlotte was like 18, 20 months old, and wasn't quite talking a lot yet, like a little here and there, but that back then it was just going to be surgery. And so you know, when I knew I was sick, I knew I had cancer last year, we didn't really explain too much to her, but when we had the surgery, we did kind of like prepare her, and you know, so like mom's gonna have a boo-boo and we have to be really gentle and really careful. And anything else to add to that?
Well, yes. Before Tiff went into surgery, not like weeks or anything, but like the day before, I did tell Charlotte that, you know, Tiffany was going to go and see the doctors, and she was going to come home with a really bad boo-boo on her chest, and she was going to need to be really careful not to, you know, jump on her, and that was really, and that she was going to feel she was going to have this boo-boo for a long time, and it's going to take a long time to get better. That was basically the extent of, you know, Tiffany's first surgery, what we went over with Charlotte. And
one of the hardest things for me, was it a 6 or 8 week recovery?
8 weeks.
8 weeks, yeah. Is that I couldn't pick her up. And I mean, she could walk and do a lot of things, but like I couldn't pick her up at all. And my nurse here like really kept me to that, like following all of the like care that the doctors and like the rules the doctors wanted me to follow. And so, you know, I didn't pick up anything for like that whole time. Even like when because she was in a crib then, like Paul, like he was working from home, so like if she woke up from her nap, which was just taking 1 nap a day, but he would come upstairs and like, or you weren't in the basement then, but you'd like come out of your office and like get her out of bed for me so I could like help her. And then when I finally could pick her up, it was wonderful. She even like, you know, cause like she was little and she'd come up like put her arms up to me all the time. And then by like 4 or 5 weeks, she like stopped doing that. And it kind of broke my heart. That was really hard. I'm not looking forward to doing that again. But yeah. But with the surgery last year, you know, she understood, and like I never had any problems with her like being too rough or anything with me. But your parents helped out a lot though.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of her. But this year, when cancer came back and was different, and we knew that we were going to need chemotherapy, I was going to need chemotherapy, and she's even older. She's like, now she's 2.5, and so she really is like conversating a lot with us, and we know like we had to talk to her. We kind of had a couple conversations about like how we wanted to approach it, and I thought about the approach of like, mommy's going to be taking medicine that's going to make her lose her hair, but then I was like, I don't want her to be scared of medicine and think that like medicine will make you lose your hair, because that was like one of the big things that like was going to be obvious to her, was like the hair loss. We wanted to prepare her, and so you kind of like waited for me, like we knew we were going to talk to her about it, but you kind of waited. We didn't know when we were going to do it.
You had told me you weren't ready.
Yeah.
And so the timing needed to be right, you know, for us to communicate that to her. And we knew for sure that we wanted to talk to her about it and tell her what was going to happen, because it's just our parenting style. Tiff already mentioned this, but we want, for our kids, we want them to be prepared for life as much as we can help them to be prepared. And like little Charlotte is an amazing little girl, and every time something comes up where I think to myself, or I talk to Tiff, I'm like, I don't know how she's gonna deal with this. She has risen to every challenge, and so as long as we've like done our part to try and get her ready for it and to support her, so we knew we wanted to talk to her about it in more detail. It was just a matter of timing.
And so I just didn't want to talk to her about it too early, and so I don't know. It was probably like well, you know what? There wasn't much time. I think it was still before Abby was born, so in my like last week of pregnancy, so about 3-4 weeks before chemotherapy, I told, like, we were reading one of her Bible stories, and it was about Jesus healing a blind man. And you know, at the end of the story, it's a really good series. At the end of the story, it said like, you know, what did you learn? And it said like, Jesus healed the blind man, and Jesus can heal you too. And then I like told her, I'm like, Charlotte, you know how Jesus can heal the blind man, and Jesus, he can do miracles. And I said, mommy's sick, but Jesus is gonna take care of me. And then she like thought about it for a minute, and then she's like, and he can heal my boo-boo or something like that, you know. But I don't know, that was just kind of like the first time that I introduced it. And then I told him, and then he like did a lot of the communicating around like that, my health.
Yeah, you know, mostly at bedtime, when I would put Charlotte down at bedtime every night, we would, once I knew that Tiffany had spoken to Charlotte and she knew that, you know, Tiff was sick, I wanted to talk to Charlotte about that and what that meant for her, because there was going to be a couple changes. The big one was Tiffany wasn't going to feel good, and it was going to be obvious, and that was going to happen frequently and for a long time. And the other one is that her hair would fall out, and the other component of it is that, you know, Charlotte would spend time away from us with my parents while they're watching her,
which she loves,
which she absolutely loves.
Yeah.
But I just want her to be aware of all of those things. And so we started praying, like adding it. Charlotte and I, we prayed every night before bed, and we started praying for Tiffany, or mommy, because she's sick. And I started to prepare Charlotte for the idea that Tiffany would lose her hair. And I would say, so mommy is sick, and when we're going to pray, the Lord's going to help her get better. The doctors are going to help her get better. She might be really tired and not feel good. Daddy's going to need to help her. I would tell Charlotte, I need your help to help me with baby Abigail and to help me take care of mommy. And then the other thing is, mommy's going to lose her hair. And for the first several nights, that's all I would say. And I could tell she was like thinking about it, and I realized I kind of rephrased it, and I would say, mommy will have no hair. And I could tell that made a little bit more sense. And then after about a week, I decided to, you know, I had my phone with me, and I said, you know what? I'm going to show you a picture of what a lady looks like with no hair. And so I just Google image search, you know, and I would show her. And I could tell that was really helpful because when I showed it to like just an example of a lady going through chemotherapy treatment who had lost her hair, I said, see, look, she looks okay. She's happy. She's fine. And I remember Charlotte was looking at it, and all of a sudden her like little eyebrows like furrowed, and then she like lifted them and she said, it's okay. And I'm like, yeah, it is okay. And mommy's gonna be okay. And so, you know, Charlotte she's just like, if you do something once, it's locked in, and it becomes part of her routine. So then like every night at bedtime we'd pray, and then she would say, can you show me a picture of no hair? And we did it for a little while, but then we ended it because I could tell she had learned what was coming. And you know, Tiffany, you know, if you've been watching the videos or you know Tiffany, you know that she has long, curly, beautiful hair. And, you know, in a very short amount of time, it went from that to being very short to being a straight up buzz cut to losing a lot of it. And, you know, Charlotte, we were not really worried. Like, we knew we'd get through anything, but we just wanted her to be ready. And I think she was. She was.
Yeah. For the first couple of weeks, like in between, like when I had like the buzz cut, if she was gone for a little bit and she came back, like maybe she was at Dan and Lisa's and then came back and I'd have a hat on, she would say, can I see your hair? Because she was like convinced that like, you know, well, look, one day it's just gonna be gone, which it kind of was like that, you know. Yeah. And like the first time we like buzzed it, I went and like woke her up and I wore a hat and I went in her room, then I like took it off and I said, hey, do you want to see my hair? And I like showed her, and we kind of just did that for all the transitions. And now she calls it my little hair. Yep. And she like wants to feel it sometimes, but it like, kids are really resilient, you know, and it like really doesn't phase her much, like with the hair, you know. For the other aspect of like not feeling well, like she does a lot of times come up to me and she'll say, are you still sick? And it's like kind of a hard thing to answer because like right now, you know, my next chemo is in 2 days, so I'm like about 3 weeks out from my last one and I feel great, you know. But so like if she comes up and says that, I'm like, I'm still sick, but I feel really good today. And then she'll like smile, and so a couple times she says, Jesus made you better, you know. And it's hard to explain, like, well, I'm not quite all the way better, but I feel really, really good. But yeah, she like just asked me out of the blue sometimes how I'm feeling, which is really sweet. She's really compassionate. And you said that sometimes, like if I'm taking a nap, like during chemo weeks, she asks if I'm feeling okay to you.
Yeah, like she, you know, it's Tiffany's most obviously sick in an infusion week, and Charlotte will notice it. She'll ask me about it, and you know, I don't. So earlier I mentioned that we just want our girls to be prepared for life. Like I said, we don't know what we're doing or the right way to do this, but you know, life isn't always easy, and instead of hiding that from them and pretending that, you know, that everything's fine and Tiffany's fine, we're just going to acknowledge the fact that she's sick, but it's going to be okay. The Lord's going to take care of us, and we're a strong family, and we're going to stick together. And so, yeah, when she asked if her mom isn't feeling good, I'll just say, yeah, she just needs to rest, and she, you know, maybe she's not having dinner with us tonight, but you know, she'll come back later, and it's fine. And Charlotte's been really tough.
Yeah, she has. And it's kind of surreal to think about how like Abby isn't gonna remember any of this.
No,
she's like 3 months old almost.
Yep.
Charlotte, I don't. It depends. I don't remember anything from when I was that young, but like I think some people might have a little memory. Like Charlotte might, you know, like remember maybe just like me with no hair. That might be like the only thing she might remember is like that time period. But she's not gonna remember much of it, you know, which is nice, you know, in a way.
We'll have the videos.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hello, Charlotte and Abby. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No. I think I'm good. Is there anything else that you wanted me to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
Okay. Everyone, I'm sorry. I have no idea where to look. So my eyes have been like everywhere.
Okay. Thank you for making this video.
Oh, absolutely. Love you.
Love you too. You have bed head. Look at you. You woke up and you have bed hair. That's what this is. Hey, Charlotte, do you know what cancer is?
Yeah.
What's cancer?
Your sickness.
My sickness?
Mm-hmm.
What else do you know about my sickness?
Oh, you're hurt.
I'm hurt, but am I okay today?
Yeah.
Yeah, today I feel good. Give me a hug. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, I'm gonna give you a hug and a kiss and a snuggle so your boo-boo won't be sick anymore.
Okay, a hug. And kiss. And a snuggle.
And
And another hug. Oh, I love it.